Welcome back to another edition of Gary's Record Collection. This time we're going to the theater, 1977, the big movie that year, Star Wars. And the music from Star Wars is legendary. The John Williams score, outstanding. It gave so much to the film, made it sound like, top-notch, A-plus there. However, in 1977, there was also a disco version of the Star Wars theme Cantina Band, and that was put out by a band called Meco, and it was awesome. And I have, of course, the original 45 of the Star Wars Cantina Band. I did not get it actually in the summer of 77 when it came out. I had to wait because it was always sold out. Believe it or not, it was in a bin. The drugstore used to have the golden oldies, and here's the sleeve. Look at that, number 15. I remember that. It was like, you can come to me when I'm like 150 years old. Hey, remember the golden oldies bin? What was record number 15? Oh, it was Star Wars. Star Wars Cantina Band, man. That was like, when they had this, it was like, this is beautiful. I loved. This was on the radio all the time, at least on, on AM pop stations, AM radio, or whatever. Not long after that, I found in a cutout bin at a store, there was a whole album, and here it is. Star Wars and Other Galactic Funk. And it's like, oh my God, this is great. Does it have the single on it? It's like, you look at it, and it's like side one, title theme, Imperial Attack, The Desert and the Robot Auction, The Princess Appears, The Land of the Sand People, Princess Leia's theme, Cantina Band, The Last Battle, The Throne Room, and end title. It does not look like the single is on there. But, Cantina Band's on there. So we'll have to give it a listen. And listen, I did. And what I found was the 45 was really a cut down version of, this is a 15-minute side, and the whole thing is on, like all the music is on there. And for the 45, they just cut it down at 2.5 minutes. Well, let's see, what was it here? 3 minutes and 28 seconds out of 15 plus. Also at the same time, they called it an album, an AOR edit, but it was really for like disco stations. Here it is, Star Wars by Meco. 734 is the actual edit. And so they just did a little bit of editing here and there to bring it down to that length. Later in the late 90s, right around 2000, here it comes out on CD. And this is great because it has not only everything that's on the album, but it does have the 45 and the 12-inch disco mix, the AOR mix that we had there. So we're going to get into it. First of all, we're going to listen to a little bit of it. We're going to go over to our fabulous audition, and we are going to listen to some of this and point out some of the edits here that were in this. So here, hang on. Let's go to Star Wars theme Cantina Band. This is great. Here it is, the classic Star Wars theme, 1977. This is what we heard on the radio. And if you didn't know any better, you would think, well, that's it. They just cut that together. That was going to be great. They're capitalizing on the movie. And they leave it at that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What I've done is I've gone ahead and put the old album side on the track 2, on track 1. And we're going to see where some of these edits are. So we're going right back to the beginning and start right here. Edit number 1. Okay, so this was not in the single, so it's out. Cut to here. So far, so good. Now this part was actually put at the end of the single where you can hear like the kind of trumpets fade out a little bit. They didn't think that was strong enough for the beginning of this song. So all they did was they looped that first section twice. So this has all been dropped out of this out of the single. Let's go ahead to another cut. This was not in the single here either. You hear the extra instrumentation, not there. But this is. The single, we're going to go into Cantina Band here. And obviously we don't. There is a whole bunch of stuff going on this album version that's obviously not on the single. We'll skip ahead because there's a section here too, like the Leia theme. If it had been a longer format, this would have fit. This was actually part of the 12-inch edit, the 7.5-minute version. And now here we are in the Cantina Band. And this whole section obviously was cut out of the single for time. But it's cool. Skipping ahead, we'll rejoin where the single is. Out of this, we expect to hear that guitar solo that was on the single. But we don't. And the interesting thing about that is the guitar solo was way back, maybe 6 minutes back. Let's go back. So now on the 45, this is we're winding up the song here, but on the album, this is only like 5.5 minutes in out of 15. So this is a third of the way in. And back to that main theme. And this is not part of it. So yeah, they did a whole bunch of editing here. And it's interesting that it's they went back and forth. Mainly followed it all along. Did some cuts to get rid of some music that they didn't want in there. But at the end, they have to go back. They have to go back, 6 minutes into the song to get the piece they want. Now, the interesting thing here is you can make your own edit because the timing is perfect. No matter where you cut, if you're cut on the beat, it'll work. And I did that. I did that myself. I was like, you know what? I want a mix where I love the single, but I also like that Princess Leia theme in there. And listening to the AOR cut gave me an idea of where to make an edit. Went back and edited it, put that in, and now I have a 7.5 minute, I call it the Wookiee version, but it's like my edit of the Star Wars theme, which is great. I mean, that's a great way to practice if you want to edit audio, editing on the beat. This is a perfect song to do it with. Use the album version, and you can make those cuts because the tempo stays the same all the way through. There are no changes. So there are going to be no jarring shifts of time. It's all going to match up. As long as you find a nice sweet spot to make that cut it on the beat, you're going to be fine. But it's a classic. It's Star Wars, for crying out loud. I listen to this all the time, and now I've got it on the iPod. I've got the whole album version. I've got the 45. I've got the radio edit cut, the what they put out to radio station, and I have my own Wookiee version of it too. So I will not run out of enjoyment when listening to Star Wars by Meco. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time on Gary's Record Collection, and may the Force be with you.